I know Brent's like the guy in the 80s that used to talk about, I don't have a TV.
I didn't. Like people were watching Seinfeld and stuff, and in the early 90s, I didn't own a television. I fucking didn't watch television.
He's just transitioned. He's just
because heroin costs too much, Brent.
Hey, you gotta make your choices for your entertainment.
Oh, good for you.
Welcome to your Monday morning roast. I'm your host, Joe Webb, along with my co-hosts and best industry friends, Bill Playford, Brent Weiss, David Hudson, and Eric Miltsch. This is our second episode of your Monday morning roast, and our show is the equivalent of gathering around the old water cooler, coffee in hand, catching up on each other's weekends, discussing current events, along with topics such as life, love, and a little work. You too will be able to join us. If you want to weigh in, share, or ask questions, just drop it in the comments on Facebook Live. And if you're up for it, we'll direct message you a link to join us on video. You have to be on video. You can ask us questions related to whatever we're discussing. No pitching whatsoever. And you will likely be subjected to a question or two in return, as well as maybe even a light roast. Hence, your Monday morning roast.
That's right.
With that, cheers, boys.
Good morning. Good to see everybody.
Good morning.
Salute.
I'm proud of this one. I don't know if you can see that. It's one of those grammar Nazi cups.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm saluting the fine people of Portland, Oregon today.
Oh, well, good for them.
Oh, yeah. He's never been there, but
I've been plenty of times. One of my best friends that's not you lives there.
But the mug is fantastic.
You can only get them from here.
So really quickly, over the weekend, and I'm not doing this to make David cry, but it was Mother's Day. This, Dave, as my bestie, is the first Mother's Day you had without your mom, who passed in the last year. So I'm sure you did your best to celebrate her life by, in turn, celebrating the motherhood of your fiance. Is that correct? Tell me what you did over the weekend.
So, a lot of crying, you know.
You watched Star Wars.
Yeah, I watched Stars again and really gave it to myself. Yesterday, continuing the home improvement stuff. My back. Continuing the home improvement stuff. And yesterday I took Sarah to buy a bunch of plants. Indoor plants. She's all about the indoor plants, you know. So we went and bought some plants, some things that she wanted, some house plants and that. So it was good. It was a cold, rainy, shitty day. Snowed a little bit here yesterday. But it was good. Saturday, I don't remember what I did.
That's fine. Eric, what'd you do?
We had a really nice casual weekend. You know, Susan cooked
Opposed
up
to a formal weekend where you wear
amazing
at home or something?
Yeah.
Susan did another glorious feast. She loves to cook these big meals for the kids on Mother's Day typically.
Time out. Why is she cooking on Mother's Day when you three idiots are there? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
She cooks all the time.
I know.
And it's the one day. It's the one day. You guys can step in and go, no, Susan, you're not going to do this today. You sit down, do your thing. But no, the Miltsch boys and Dad sit around waiting for Susan to finish. Like, she's an amazing cook. I get it. But you guys can't even step in?
Well, believe me, we have tried over the years.
Yeah.
We have tried. But you wouldn't want us cooking, okay? She's gonna get cereal and toast, if we did it. But she did, she made her lavish spread and she packs it all up. She made a nice little kit, and we brought it over to Parker and his growing. Cooper did come over and join us, so she was super happy about that. But she got to see the kids at least, and that made her happy. This was her first Mother's Day as well without her mom, so she was a little sad. But she wanted to do something special as well, and she made up some amazing stuff, like homemade cinnamon rolls. She made her some bread, and she made some, I don't even know what it was, some breakfast quiche type of thing. It was wonderful. So a lot of good stuff.
Sounds nice. Bill, what about you?
I didn't burn any stumps, which is good. RIP to all the lost moms out there. I feel bad for you guys.
Pour one out for all the lost moms.
Yeah, and pour one out for little Richard. And it was kind of a big one. So, but anyway, really low key weekend. Just tried to do everything to make it more mom friendly in my house. So picked up the house and pulled a little extra weight. I did go grocery shopping for the first time in a while, which was quite interesting. I especially like to see how people are wearing their masks like sideways or off their nose or just kind of around their neck. And the highlight for me of the whole trip was a woman wearing no mask, but like these giant aviator sunglasses, because somehow you're going to get the virus through your eyeballs. And I thought that was just ridiculous. I just stared at her. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? But it was a good weekend, good Mother's Day weekend. Did a big Zoom call with the family and stuff, and it was good.
Bill, did you see the woman in the video going into the gas station? She walks in and it's cut in front of her nose and mouth. And
makes it easier to breathe.
And he said to her, "Why did you cut your mask?" And she said, "Well, this way I can breathe."
So what I've taken a lot of joy in making faces at people by looking right at them with my mask on. It's been lots of fun.
Brent,
While I'm just looking, I'm making a face at them as they walk by, and I feel really good about that.
Brent, what did you do this weekend?
I just chilled out with Lisa. We did not much on Saturday, ran errands and hung out, which was amazing. I love lazy weekends when we don't have much to do. And this is my, 30th Mother's Day without my mom. She's not dead. She's just in California. But
close enough.
He's lost.
Yeah, close enough. She's in the United States, and everything's reopened now. So
it's been only my second year in a row on Mother's Day without your mom.
Exactly. Well, she misses you too, Joe.
I bet. Is she?
She asked where the checks are.
Yeah. Is she sitting down yet?
Yeah. She's got her good pillow now. Thanks very much too. She said thank you for sending that. No, I sent my mom's in California. I was talking to her early in the week actually, and she hit me up because she's got an ancient, like probably first edition iPad she's had forever. And I commend my mom because she's one of those people that got wired up really quickly with smartphones and tablets and things and moved away from laptops years and years ago. And like would go to the Apple store and take courses on how to use her devices and things. So she's really smart with her stuff. But she called me on earlier in the week and just said like it's just dying, like the iPad's dying. And she really does everything on it, books on her travel, does all of her stuff on her iPad. So seeing that, I ordered her one and got it. We got it into San Diego a couple days before Mother's Day, which she was thrilled about. And my sister-in-law Janet helped her wire it all up. So she called us. She called Lisa and I just to tell us she got it. But then she actually started setting it up while we were on the phone.
Yeah, which means she's using you to help. Yeah,
exactly. Start setting it up. It's like, oh no. Yeah. But no, we did a bit of it with her. Then my sister-in-law Janet ran over there and they got her set up. But that was great. So that was Mother's Day, and we didn't do much in the city too. Lisa's mom also passed away a couple of years ago. So it's for all those people that move through that. Yeah, it's a big change when you lose a parent and you go through one of these things. My mom's still around, but I lost my dad. So those Mother's Days and Father's Days are a little reflective. So I'm just trying to make sure you check in with people. And I don't think I do a really good job of that. So something I want to work on.
A good job checking in with my mother and father for sure. I'm the one who usually instigates most starts most conversations, reaches out. But it's interesting. This is a different Mother's Day because everybody's staying at home. Typically for Mother's Day, my wife is always like, "Oh no! It is Mother's Day. I'm getting out of this house. I'm going to go get some me time." And yet when Father's Day rolls around and I try to plan something, she's like, "Oh no! It is Father's Day. Don't you want to spend some time with your family?" It's like it's a complete complete.
Oh,
Yeah.
physical-
No, I guess what I was saying is not like I talk to my mom all the time and check in with her. I'm just saying like friends, you know, I remember when Dave had to miss Digital Dealer because of his mom's passing, and these things happen to us all the time. It's just my takeaway from the weekend, and I was thinking about this yesterday, was I've got to be a bit more aware of just like checking in with my friends who are having these sort of first milestones of that. I think it's just important. It's one thing that we're quarantining ourselves or isolating and doing all that distancing, but I think it's a day to be mindful of your friends, maybe who you've had people, lost people in having these early holidays without certain folks, right? Like Susan and Dave and Lisa and the rest. So
yeah. So that was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Say hi to your mothers for me. So anyway, we're going to give the intro again really quickly. Welcome to your Monday Morning Roast. I'm your host, Joe Webb, along with my co-hosts and best industry friends, Bill Playford, Brent Weiss, Eric Miltsch, and David Hudson. This is our second episode, and our show is the equivalent of gathering around the old water cooler, coffee in hand, catching up on each other's weekends, discussing current events, along with topics such as life, love, and a little bit of work. If you want to join us and weigh in on some of the conversations we're having, drop it in the comment that you want to join us. We will direct message you a link to the Zoom webinar where you can join us on video only, and you can ask us questions related only to whatever we're talking about, no pitching, and you will be likely subjected to a couple questions or two in return, maybe even a light roast, hence your Monday Morning Roast. And again, cheers, boys.
cheers.
Cheers, boys.
All right.
So,
Okay, there you go.
really quickly, what I wanted to talk about, our first topic is sort of Facebook etiquette, and I'll tell you why this popped up. I spent Saturday, where you hope to only sit around and do a lot of work. I spent Saturday, 30 minutes at least on Saturday, declining invitations to Facebook business pages or Facebook pages that people have invited me to like. And what frustrates me, and I'd love to hear your take on it, is that very often it is for companies. It is, first of all, because we're in this industry, a lot of people friend request us that we've never met before. We don't know, we've never met. They work at a dealership, they work for a vendor, whatever. And the moment you accept their friend request, they force feed you to like their business. They force feed you to like their local landscaping company. They force feed you to like a doctor's health and wellness clinic that they just started joining. And I think what pisses me off most of all is these psychopaths. I want to know the mindset behind the people who I've never met before that go and say, hey, let's join as friends. And I click friend request and they immediately say, like, let's say, I won't say their specific name, but they will go, and the moment you accept their friend request, they ask you to like their own personal business page. It's like, if your name is John Smith, and I accept John Smith, and I immediately get something that says, John Smith invited you to like John Smith.
Yes. You can go straight to hell.
Yes, thank you. What? Okay, I just want anybody watching this to know, never, ever do that. Ever. If I don't do business with your organization, if I won't ever do business with your organization, if it is a local company years away, there is no point in you inviting me to like it just for the sake of likes. So please let me have it. Am I wrong? Am I just
let me I want to comment really quick, because I think part of it is part of the like guru ninja expert culture that we're in that says, hey, you're a entrepreneur, you do this and you blast it off to everybody because everybody wants to buy toilet paper from you, just like the 1980s in Amway. It's that same mentality, I think, is part of it. So it's not, hey, let's get to be friends. Let's at least, maybe share a back rub before we, hop into bed with each other on Facebook. Like, all that stuff's gone, because it happens to me too. And I think it drives all of us a little bananas. But I think part of it is they think these people are like authority figures and that they have to follow their lead. Since they've been elevated to an authority figure, that we should just blast it out. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, there's a constant barrage of just, even with the car dealer pages, asking everybody just to like their dealership. And I get it, you just want to build it up. But I don't think everybody they don't take into consideration what that could potentially do, obviously, for any additional ads that you might be running in your audience targeting. So just as much as you want to build that up, just hold off on it. Just let it happen, or find another way to build that up. But you don't need, Joe doesn't need to like some dealership in Arizona. Yeah,
it's not even a dealership. It is like, listen, a guy that I've heard of, never met, don't want to really know. Friend requested me, and we had 300-400 mutual friends in common, and I accepted. And when I tell you, he littered me over the course of 7 to 10 days with about 20 different pages to like. I just not only declined them all, I blocked him. I didn't only unfriend, I blocked him because I want him to die and go to hell and never live again.
I think it's like anything where
now, I'm looking through my list right now, Joe. I probably have 40 in the last 4 days or so, at least, of just additional businesses. Again, from people I don't know who they are. And just one's a lawn care company, one's a nail business. Just all these additional pages that I don't know if it's their side hustle or what it is. But
egg freezing companies, like, know your audience. I just don't understand why they say they blast it out. I went through about 400. It took me a half an hour to just decline. I didn't care, and there were a lot of the same perpetrators. There were some people, and I started. How I love purging people on my friends list. It's like one of my favorite things to do. I must have just unfriended 20 people who would not stop doing that. So I just believe it's a Facebook etiquette. I believe there's manners are involved in Facebook.
Yeah, but you've got to remember though, Facebook started without any sort of core competency in terms of building a list of etiquette. Like I bring it back to, I remember when I was a kid and my dad took me to learn how to play golf, right? As a junior, I was 6th grade or whatever it was when I first went out to the course. And I still remember this. The first things my dad took me through was the etiquette that you had to practice at the golf course. You can't throw your clubs. You can't yell. You can't, there's just all the things that you have to learn about, if you're going to take on a sport or you're going to take on a hobby or you're joining an organization. There usually is a preset layer of all this etiquette that, just things you try to practice or suggested things you do. And Facebook has always been like backyard wrestling. Like, there's no rules. It's just like smash each other around the can. And that's why these idiots, I don't know them, so I won't call them idiots, but it's just, if you're going to set up your profile on Facebook and then make a business page just reposting the same shit you put on your regular page, and then you invite me to like a page of usually nothing because you don't support it. I never understood that, but I think the other side of it too, though, not just with these invites, but Facebook as a whole, because you guys know, I'm barely on it. Joe pulled me back in with this Monday morning roast because I hate it. Like, I think what it's done is Facebook has created the dinner party conversations that none of us were brave enough to have in real life. And now we do them on Facebook. And what that allows is, with that backyard wrestling, is unless you're turning off your comments, and I don't think you can, like, if you're going to post there and it's turned into the channel of strong opinion, you're gonna bring it on, right? Even when I remember one of the last things I posted where someone came at me, the first thing I said to them was like, thanks for weighing in, but I didn't ask you for your opinion. And again, it's this freedom of opinions and attacking everyone's thoughts. Like, I don't agree with everybody's shit on there. And there's, right now too, it's even more bent than it ever has been. And it's kind of the reason why I avoid Facebook, because it's if you want to get shit all over, or you want to shit all over somebody, spend your time on Facebook. Like,
that should be
that's what Facebook's for.
The bedroom only. If you're gonna shit anybody, it should only happen.
I was going to say family reunion.
Let's be clear.
But Joe, Jason Mitchell just put in an interesting comment. I think this is a great topic. He said, we see Facebook as a dying medium. So I've said this for a long time. This form functionality that we see now, even with what we're doing with live stuff, just the constant barrage of just posts and updates and even videos that are posted, that is going to change. This is not the Facebook is obviously not going to stay at this. Take a look at their other business units, especially given the unit, for the Oculus device. That's where all of this is going to change in terms of morphing how people communicate, how people interact, the engagement level, and on top of that, everything that's happening right now with the pandemic, especially around this platform that that most people are using, Zoom, in terms of being able to take that, they're looking at expanding that platform into something different where it's not a two-dimensional type of interaction. It'll actually be a three-dimensional. So this stuff is awesome in terms of being able to imagine putting on a headset and having a completely immersive type of experience. And again, now you don't even have to go. You can just leverage that platform.
So is it an immersive experience of
now.
just getting shit all over when you post stuff? Or?
I mean, and real quick, one thing I
You
love
get to
about
smell it,
watching,
Brent. You get to smell it that way.
one thing I love about watching Eric speak is with his hand motions, it's almost like he's doing his own sign language for it. It's the whole time he's like,
Those are all technology signs.
yeah,
They are, dude. Come on, get on the
He types like a hamster.
get in the know.
What does that
So,
mean?
Joe, doesn't that basically set it up in terms of what we wanted to try to get to in terms of this topic? This is all about the type of people that are out there. Don't you think that's a good indicator?
We know what
how they behave on that.
Yeah, we know. I just feel that there should be, if there's societal norms that take place in public, some of those things need to, in turn, be shared on Facebook. You would not ideally walk into another person's conversation of people that you barely know and just start like crapping on exactly what they're talking about without any context going in. And you wouldn't go out and hand out a flyer, hopefully, on a street corner that is 100, well, you might not know it's 100% factually incorrect. But if you knew that somebody could punch you in the face, by handing out something that's hurtful to somebody else, you probably wouldn't do it. And if you went and shook hands, the equivalent of inviting somebody to like something, and I think Joey Little mentioned LinkedIn being a good example too. You friend request somebody, and then you force feed them their product. You might shake hands with somebody in real life and give them a business card, so to speak, but you don't shake hands with somebody and say, now I'm going to tell you about everything that we do. Like, there needs to be some rapport building. There needs to be some, if I don't believe you're going to be interested or you need to hear about it in a second, I'm going to pause. LinkedIn's a great example where the moment you accept all these idiots asking you to like something, you get that 4 or 5 paragraph, hey, listen, I know that the reason you accepted my friend request is because you're dying to know about what it is we do for businesses and how you can help us make more money because we can't do it ourselves. Like, that is how those paragraphs come out. Those pitches come off. And I just think, like, as an industry, stop being that guy.
Well, I think part of it's also knowing your audience. Like, Brent brought up a good point. I mean, and I want Dave to comment on this because as the filmmaker, he knows audiences pretty well. But the one thing that gets for me is LinkedIn used to be, if you guys remember way back in the day, it was intended for people you knew, like you shook hands with, like as people you're willing to recommend. And, especially since it's been acquired, it's a lot different. But that was the initial intent, was sort of like, this is my business card. I know you. I'll vouch for you. And I think that's how Facebook is as well. I mean, I'm extremely mindful. I don't have time on a Saturday, Joe, to go through and just, I ignore everything, right? I just let it pile up there. I don't care. But the fact of the matter is like, if we've never had a conversation on the phone or we haven't had a drink or something like that, like the probability of me Facebook friending you is minuscule. Same thing with LinkedIn as well. I keep it for people I know, or at least I know by reputation. And the fact of the matter is, if you have a VP of sales or director of marketing position on LinkedIn, I'm not going to accept your friend request. I'm just not. So part of it's just thinking about like who you accept or who you interact with.
I think LinkedIn though, Bill,
you opt into it to a degree.
Yeah, I think you're looking at LinkedIn though. It's like I'm not connecting with people on LinkedIn because I'm necessarily like friending them. And I think that's the thing about Facebook. It's like, here's a new Facebook friend, and I've taken, if I don't know those people now, I actually went through to the exercise on Facebook and messaged people and said, listen, like, I'm not here anymore. Like, I'm really not engaged with this channel. If you want to connect with me professionally, connect with me over on LinkedIn, right? So I look at LinkedIn as not like, oh, I'm making new friends there. I have you four. I don't need any more friends. That's it.
It's, as far as like business,
No, I just
and all that stuff. I don't know. I haven't once landed a gig based on anything on Facebook or LinkedIn or any other platform. I've had a ton of people sell their services to me, and I never try to sell my service ever on any of the platforms. Maybe I'm just not good at it, but I've never gotten any business from it. So I don't see the point.
As a person, listen, I think we all of us, all five of us, have a bit of a following, and or I'd even say fans to an extent, because some of the video stuff that we've done over time. So what I would say is, I want to be friends with people, but if I get a friend request, and this is something separate, if I get a friend request from somebody in automotive and I'm excited about connecting with them, but all they ever post is inventory, all they ever post is motivational memes with lions in them. Trust me, if I accept it, it's only because I feel obligated to do it, and I unfollow you right away. If I see that, hey, listen, if I see something where you can't stop posting politically about one side of the spectrum, if I see that you do not stop sharing nothing about sales or you and your customers, I'm not interested in that. There are reasons where I will accept and unfollow immediately, hoping to God you do not send me a happy birthday message on my birthday, so the week after that I can dump your ass. I mean, that is the truth.
The call.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I want to be friends with people, but I think too many people use this platform as a means to talk at people and not get them involved, which is why I put out a message. I don't know, Bill, if you're keeping up. I asked if anybody wants to join, just let us know. We can DM a message. If they want to weigh in on how Facebook is, well, not just an echo chamber, but if there's specific etiquette in regard to accepting, liking, maybe somebody say, hey, I do this all the time. This is why I do it. If you're that fool, weigh in so we can talk.
Yeah, Joey Little has been commenting quite a bit. If your hair is done right now, or even if it's not, if you want to join, just DM Joe. We'll get you the link, okay?
Right. My hair's done.
Yeah, Dave looks amazing as usual. He's not getting up and walking away, which is also good.
Last week, you can see he joined and he's like, oh my God, this is, I was not preparing for this.
Jason Mitchell, FP is the devil.
So,
but what the whole problem with it, Joe, is the fact that it's almost like, how to say it, like beer muscles. People get beer muscles in the bar, but they get social media muscles, and they feel so much more empowered. And if you put it into a real life scenario, very few people are actually going to say that same exact thing to your face or to a group. They may with their closest friends.
Agreed.
And I don't think it's, there's so many, there's so many people that will just, blindly just, go on a tirade, without, I don't know if they are thinking of the consequence or what, but, they throw a Molotov cocktail out there and just argue, just one side. But at the same time, people very rarely will do that, in the real world. It just doesn't happen. And then if somebody's presented with that scenario, they suddenly turn into a different person, which goes back to what we were saying before. Are you getting somebody's real life persona in that interaction? There's Joey.
Holy shit! We got Joe in mission control over there. He's got all the gear on.
Now listen,
pull your Yetis down.
Real quick to give Joey a little context. Like, Joey Little has the greatest voice on camera, on radio. Like, if you just close your eyes, you'll melt here. Joey, how's everything going with you?
Well, it's been kind of interesting that we've been doing this thing, with.
I feel like I'm being 10X'd right now from New Jersey.
Yeah. No, it's cool, man. No, welcome to my studio. So, hey, and thanks for having me on.
I love this
Oh,
topic.
thanks for inviting us in, Joey. We feel so very privileged.
I know. I feel like I'm on your
Who are you, Dr. Dre?
I don't play guitar, by the way.
That's actually not a guitar. That's actually like a sitar. It's a miniature version.
That's the guitar that Joey doesn't know how to play, but the
ukulele. It's a ukulele. It's forced perspective.
Hey, give me 15 seconds. I have to say this. I just bought this house in Kansas City, in North Kansas City, and it has absolutely saved my relationship. I'm scheduled to get married in November, but we don't know how that's going to work out.
That's impossible. None of us have gotten an invite. I don't.
It sounds like you're the next season of Unorthodox. Was that set up by Yenta or something?
I'm going for the online thing, but we'll see how it goes. Everybody's gonna get it, as long as you bring a gift. But this is a separate building from the rest of my house. This is a studio. This was owned by a creative VP at Hallmark Cards here in Kansas City, and he built this art studio in the backyard. So this has absolutely saved my relationship because we don't even see each other all day. It's almost like going to work. So
wow, that's pretty sweet.
And listen, let me reiterate, it's not going to work.
It won't. No, that's right. I'm 45 years old, my first run, so there's a reason why.
That's
exactly.
A little bit older.
Lace up your shoes.
I do about 52. I'm telling you, Facebook. If I wasn't running, if I wasn't the admin for what we do, I can say Auto Alert and Modern Dealership and all that, I wouldn't have a Facebook account right now. I would absolutely not have one. I think it's trash. I think it's garbage. I think that it's. I believe that the keyboard is a lot like the windshield in a car. You will say shit to people when you're driving that you would never say to their face, right? Somebody cuts you off, Joe, you will call them even if it's a little old lady, you will call them every name in the book, right?
Whoa, let me try. Let me give it a shot.
Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about? Like there's this weird security armor that people got, and then they just, I called my grandmother this morning just to have a conversation with her about Mother's Day. Yesterday I didn't call her. She has a lot of grandkids and stuff. And she immediately just goes into, this political discussion that her and my aunt got into on Facebook that she doesn't want to be, I'm like, what? She lives across the street. Why are you doing this online? You guys are saying shit to each other that you would never say to each other's face. And I think salespeople are the same way. They're doing sales tactics that they would never, ever in a million years want to do anywhere else.
But Joey, don't you feel obligated? Because listen, we've all been on Facebook for going on 10 years or so now. Yeah. Don't you feel sort of obligated to continue some semblance of I'm here to all the people you've connected with over the course of the last decade?
I liked that. I remember when that first started. That was fun, connecting with people and being able to maybe right some wrongs in a relationship. When you're in high school, you de-pants somebody and then you can tell them later you're sorry on Facebook. That didn't happen to me.
I like the idea that there should be an extra option on Facebook that you have your friends, and then you have your friends that you're not really friends with, right?
You do. It's acquaintances.
Well, I know that, but that other people can see it, right? They like, so if I have a racist uncle that posts just racist stuff, it lets everybody know, like, I have to kind of be connected to this guy, or he's gonna.
I didn't know Eric Miltsch was your uncle.
Damn New Yorkers.
Boom.
Yeah. I miss the days of people taking picture of their dinner.
Yeah, I do. I miss the days of people just. Facebook has just made it so we know more about each other now, and literally know more about each other now. Like that we don't ever needed to know, but we kind of do need to know.
I feel with all this technology, it'd be much easier to go under the radar than ever.
No,
depends on how vocal you are.
Get rid of all of it, and it's like if someone wanted to, move out into the wilderness or whatever that is, that whole idea. But I think it'd be easier now more than ever to go under the radar.
Well, let me give you an example. So if you guys don't know, I'm from Topeka, Kansas. And the Topeka, Kansas is very, very famous for one big thing. It's very famous for a family that has a church there, right? The Westboro Baptist Church. And when I was going through junior high and high, does everybody know who the Westboro Baptist Church is?
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, I went to school with Benji Phelps. Benji Phelps was the oldest grandson of Fred Phelps, the Westboro Baptist Church. We all knew about it, but we never associated Benji with the church. We never really kind of put that two and two together until one day we're eating lunch our freshman year in the high school cafeteria, and all of a sudden Benji said something about all gays are damned and blah, blah, and then it just clicked. Like holy shit, you're a Phelp. And we got up and we went to another and never talked to him again. If Facebook would have been around then, we probably would have found out about it earlier because he had been posting all this crap online. That we could have discovered that a lot sooner.
What would you have done then?
I don't know. I was really kind of I was really influential back then. I probably would have joined the church and maybe made my own signs. But when I had my radio program in Topeka, I used to try to get the Phelps, give them advice that they could take this hatred and turn it towards marketing, because they made some amazing signs. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but the typeface and the spacing and the color choices was really good. They could have done really well in guerrilla marketing for companies.
Yeah.
They really could if they would have gone the right way instead of the wrong way.
Yeah, instead of about sheer hate and bigotry, if they just turned their entire religion into a signage company.
Yeah.
It's
like Kyle Kinane says, any organization that like rallies, the LGBTQ and the Hells Angels together as one force against the church. You got something special there.
I love how Joey's biggest fault with the Westboro Church is their marketing plan.
Yeah, their is off.
Yeah, they're turning. I was gonna hold on to that one, Brent.
Their line spacing is shit.
Well, this will give you an example too. So growing up in that neighborhood without social media and growing up in Topeka, my family had small businesses. My dad had a floor covering store. My grandfather had a construction company. And
What'd your uncle do? The racist?
He was, I forgot what
Part of
he
the
did.
church, Dave. Come on, he's an
He was
alderman.
a guidance counselor.
Clergy.
He was a high school guidance counselor. No,
High school guidance counselor. There you
they
go.
used to, the Westboro Baptist Church, and this is what you're talking about. They used to force feed information just like what we get with social media, right? They used to send faxes to every single small business in Topeka. Every business, they would just fax and fax and fax and fax these played out, things about all gays are going to go to hell and this, and now the attorney general is going to go to hell. And it just was this forced information that was just, and you couldn't turn it off then. You can turn it off now. And I think that a lot of us just get worried that if we disconnect with somebody, we're worried about their feelings. Now, Joe, I know you said, screw them. I wish they would die and fall off a bridge, right? But some people get like, it's weird. Like you're like, this person can't be that much of a forceful salesperson. Like you want to reach out to them and say, listen, calm the fuck down.
Listen, though, hang on really quick, though. We were going to accept Westboro Baptist Church as a sponsor, but that's gone now.
Yeah.
Their budget
so thanks, Joey, for that. Appreciate it.
Their budget has dropped quite a bit since Grandpa died. So
I mean, I saw their ligatures and their fonts and stuff, and I was like, these guys are legit, but now off the table.
I mean, here, and
I think video is really going to help them. Video is the new thing. You really got to go with video.
now that we're on the topic of social media, because listen, I take social media personally, and that's a problem. And I'll share that one story about Joey and I, where and look, he's already laughing and he's hiding himself with the mic. So
I feel like shit. I
I
feel
like
like
Joey. We've gone to dinner together. We've had drinks together. We've shat the shit at
You
conferences.
shat together?
Chat together
That's awesome. That's intimate.
Wow, that's
And so
big.
then,
like
at
a
one
hot
point-
snake.
At one point, for Joey went and purged everyone off of his Facebook or Twitter feed or something. He dropped it down where he had 10,000 followers, and he dropped it down 5, 30, or 100. And I'm like, son of a bitch, because I've been engaging with this guy the whole time, and then I realized I don't know if it was Facebook or what platform it was, but I ran into him at a conference, and I said, hey, Joey, can I ask you something? Can you pull out your phone? Can you pull out your phone? He's like, why? What's going on? I'm like, open up your phone for me, please. And he was really uncomfortable. But this is how I approach things. I'm a prick. And I said, because I consider you and I friends. Are we friends? He's like, yeah. And I said, okay, pull up and show me if you follow me.
yeah.
I trimmed it down. I'm like, yeah, but you and I are supposed to be friends. So, and I said, just so you know, I took offense to that. And I guess I made him feel really bad. So to an extent, I'll say I apologize, but at the same time, sometimes I need to depants people in public face to face.
That's right.
Because it's really easy to block
absolutely.
people from afar.
It was irresponsible of me. It's something that I do quite a bit. I call it the Facebook purge or the Twitter purge or whatever it is. And I told somebody who worked for me or worked the same team, hey, here's my login to Twitter. I am following 2,500 people on Twitter. I don't want to follow that many people. I want you to just randomly get rid of 2,000 people or whatever it was. Just delete 2,000 people. I do it with Facebook at least twice a year. The last time I did it, I think I had close to 3,000 people that I was following or connected to, and I got it down to 225. I would take like my family members and put them in a group, and I would tell, at the time it was Drew Black, hey Drew, just go in there and delete everybody. I mean, out of this many, just randomly grab whoever. And I should have thought about that a little bit more when I did it with Joe, because Joe is not somebody I want to disconnect with. None of you guys are anybody I want to disconnect with online. All of you are smart. You're leaders in our industry. You're innovators. You're thought leadership, and so now I've been a little bit more careful about that. I still do purges quite a bit, but yeah, I don't want to. I felt it awkward. I don't. I'm like, fuck, I didn't mean to do that, Joe.
No, hey, listen, it's fine. Like, if you haven't noticed, I enjoy calling some people out.
No, it was almost like you found my underpants in your wife's bedroom or something like that. That's what it was like at the time. You're like, hey, motherfucker, hey. How are you?
I gotta tell you, it does come up like weekly during our meetings,
that?
but I mean, other than that, it's cool.
I will say, listen, I think a lot of people, again, are tough and act special and act holier than thou. Not that you were doing it exactly. But as soon as you approach somebody to their face, a lot of people are like, oh shit, now I realize the error of my ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's all. So
have you seen the guy, the black guy that meets with KKK and Nazis and becomes and takes their robes and you're shaking your head. Yes, it's the same thing. He meets with them in person, and I think that's what it needs to be. There needs to be more of these things.
Well, because to Joey's point, with that person who meets, with racists, a lot of times too, those communities are so very closed. Like I know someone, and her dad and uncles are all card-carrying Ku Klux Klan members down in, Missouri and in those states. And she said, like, they don't travel out of state. They rarely travel out of county. They don't like associate with anyone outside their circle. So the containment of that, to that point of like when you actually get outside of their circle and meet out other people, it's almost like anything. There anything that's like that's secluded or secular, I guess is the term, is you're gonna find that the minute you break out of that, you're gonna open yourself up to all sorts of people that you, to Joey's point, like once you get to meet them, it's like, well, wait a minute, I've thought one way all my life because I've been born and raised that way and conditioned that way, and in a way, it's that vacuum that is Facebook as well. Facebook's the same thing. If you sit in that vacuum, and if you live in that vacuum of Facebook, or any channel for that matter, if you overindulge in that channel and that's all you know, and again, we're seeing that, right? Because with everything that's going on now, like there's so much information that people pull off of their wall conversations about what's happening. Yep. It's like, get the fuck off of there, go into some reliable sources, whichever sources you pick, and then start making your educated, assumptions and takes on things, rather, and meet other people and get to know it. Like,
take walks.
Do you think that's why? Do you think that's why?
There's a corollary to that though too, though. It's that constant repost. You need to catch up, Joey, but I mean, it's that constant zombie repost shit though. So it's like, not only are you in your own echo chamber and your own confirmation biases, but then you're just constantly reposting that stuff without even doing it. So it's like, it's this total, just repetitive shitstorm that just happens over and over and over again.
Hey, before I'm gonna let you guys go, and I appreciate you.
Oh, thanks, Joey, for letting us go and managing our time for us.
I want to show you guys something, because we're all kind of in the same. We're all in the same kind of age group. But this is my most prized possession. It's on the wall behind me.
Don't make it.
The Swingers movie poster, autographed by Vince Vaughn and John Favreau, Heather Graham, and Ron Livingston. So just wanted to show that off.
Money.
I can't see it past your huge phallic microphone that's hanging right in front of your mouth.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm gonna let you go. I'm a huge Swingers fan.
Joe's got all the microphones.
One of my best friends, Swingers is the reason. One of my best friends. A lot of you guys know Mikey Kiernan, and he and I first started hanging out is because he reminded me of Vince Vaughn in the movie. I knew that movie front and back to back. It continued on Mercedes from License to Drive, and then it gave her that platform in which to show off how fantastic Heather Graham is. I will say a huge fan of that, so I love that you have that signed. And I also just want to give credit to Joey. I think it's really brave of him to marry a woman who's obviously blind.
Well, clearly, yeah, and clearly the room is saving his marriage, because all his shit's in that room now. You notice that? Like, all his prized possessions are out in his shed with his microphone and all his gear.
Hey, listen, all of us, all six of us know that we are a lot more attractive standing on our wallet. So, just saying.
I mean, exactly. I speak
for yourself. And by the way, it's not going to work.
It's okay. I just needed somebody to take care of me in my later years.
That's smart.
Joey, thanks for joining us.
Dave's an ordained minister too, so just so you know.
Great.
Joey, thanks for joining us, buddy. I've known you for such a long time as well.
Yeah,
You've been in marketing and radio for so long. You've worn so many hats. But you've done like blogging, show host, creative services, event stuff, corporate teams. Is there anything you can do?
They keep giving him titles.
Yeah.
I had to send him at that point. This is so good.
Eric, that was you crushed.
Eric, well done. This is why more people aren't going to join us.
Yeah. Miltsch just won the morning with that one, though, I think. That was good.
Eric. Nice.
Well done.
Thanks, Joey.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, real quick, because I know we only
Thanks for making sure we saw his big fat mic, too.
Yeah,
So he's such a good guy, though. He's always been a great
Musk,
sport.
not to completely change, but Elon, when you talk about somebody who wears different hats, Elon Musk was in the news, and he's got his hands in so many different things, from SpaceX, Tesla, obviously his singer girlfriend or wife, and they just he's in the news because not only is he saying that he's pulling the headquarters for Tesla out of California, but he might even be moving the automobile manufacturing out of California. And he's suing the state because they can't go back into producing vehicles right now, and he's mad about that. But also he made news because he named his child, he and his wife, X, and it's a symbol that's pronounced Ash, even though it stands for AI. It's the Elven symbol for AI. So it's X Ash A12, and A12 being first of all, do you think anybody gives a shit what somebody else names their kid? I mean, does anybody care? Do we care what he named his robot alien child?
I do. I think it should be like in like some European countries, like you have to pick from a list of names.
Really?
And
What countries are those? What countries do you have to pick?
No,
from?
it's I want to say it's like Denmark or something like that. I guess I don't want to
Spain or
Switzerland, something like that. But you have to pick from a name, and like I shouldn't have to waste any neurology at all whatsoever on how to pronounce your name. I shouldn't. I shouldn't have I should be able to read it and go, oh, that's Mark. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's just a giant, just dick comparison, move there to have your kid this crazy name. It ruins the kid's life. Every time he goes to the DMV, he's like,
"Think you're better than me?"
Yeah, the cat run across the keyboard. How did you get this name? Yeah, are you better than me? Yeah, but like I said, I don't think it's good for the kid. I think listen, if you're a celebrity, you're a billionaire, whatever. You want to name your kid some kind of crazy name, that's whatever. But that's that kid's identity for the rest of their life.
Listen, here's how I feel about it. And this is honestly truly.
It was my password.
As far as like his, like how his kid's gonna handle things and how his kid's gonna be, fuck that kid.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you know how hard it is to grow up with a billionaire father? None of us do.
Bill is right. So Denmark's very strict law on personal names is in place to protect children from having odd names that suit their parents' fancy. To do this, parents can choose from a list of only 7,000 pre-approved names, some for girls, some for boys. You want to name your child something that isn't on the list, you have to get special permission from your local church, and the name is then reviewed by government officials.
Wow. Where's that? Is that Denmark?
Denmark.
Yeah, I called it. Fountain of useless information. Strikes again.
Yeah. Good
job, Cliff.
I mean, and moreover, can we just go on? Let's stop taking letters off of names. Like, shall we? Like, let's just write things the right way. Matt with 1 T. So,
why don't you make a Facebook post about that, Joe? Be really all caps.
Yep.
All right. So really quick, but listen, David, who were you named after?
My uncle. And my middle name was from Gone with the Wind.
Really? Scarlett? So, and then Brent, who were you named after?
Ray Charles.
Okay, I see that. Because you're blind and an abuser of women and alcohol. And
alcohol.
Yeah.
Too close.
Yeah.
Too close.
William,
close. Halfway there, Joe.
Named after?
Who?
Who were you named after?
Oh, me? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I think it was my great uncle, and my grandfather is my middle name.
Eric, who are you named after?
His racist uncle, of course.
Yeah.
No, I was named after Eric Torvaldsen. He was the Norse explorer. So
So,
Eric the Red. That's a bold choice. I gotta tell you.
Exactly.
Realm of Eric's.
a little
Eric-
different. though.
Eric the Bald.
excellent.
Eric
Eric
the Jab-
felt.
And did anybody name your kids something weird? I'm trying to think. I know Bill, everything's like a biblical name. You've got now Eric, you've got Cooper and
Parker.
Parker. Cooper and Parker. So were those like the last names of kids that that were nice to you in high school?
Parker, I always thought was a cool name. I remember, I don't know, I was in college and I met somebody who had a kid. Their name was Parker. I thought that was pretty cool. And then Cooper is actually named after one of my best friends from college. His name is Peter Cooper, and he's
That was on a bet that you lost, or?
he's actually Cooper's godfather. But I always thought that was a nice, a nice honor for him. But and
So
Cooper,
Susan had no say.
no,
No, apparently she just cooks all the time.
She knows her
Right.
place.
For everyone to eat.
We've established this.
Yeah.
Cooks on Mother's Day.
You know what? And really, we'll circle back to Mother's Day really quickly because I was on the phone with my stepfather and he said, "It's a real shame what's happening this Mother's Day." He said, "You know, nobody gets to do their usual rituals." And I said, "What's that? Visiting family?" He said, "Oh, church." I said, "How's church a ritual for Mother's Day?" I said, "Mother's Day has no." He's like, "Everybody goes to church on Mother's Day." I said, It has no religious connotation. It's Mother's Day." He's like, "Yeah, no, people go to church." I said, he's like, "To honor the mothers." I said, "Have you read the Bible?" I'm like, the Bible very specifically says like women's places in the home. Women must submit to all men. Like women have no say in the Bible. Like, so how now all of a sudden some people get in their mind that you need to go to church to celebrate? Why? No, you celebrate them.
G's up.
You celebrate them with French toast. Pancakes.
Exactly.
Or
Hey, Rob.
whatever they're willing to make you and your kids if you're at
Yeah, apparently.
well, she is the same.
The only thing we do in my from naming is the only thing we do
Catholic
in
though,
our,
really quick. Hang on.
What's that?
I want to ask a question. Is he Catholic? Who asked you the question?
Oh no, he's Episcopalian.
Okay, well, because I say a lot of times with services they'll have like a bless the moms type situation or something along the lines. So
Sure.
maybe he makes that association. I don't know, maybe it was the last time he went to church. Who knows? That was happening. So, but that's the only reason why I asked
The moms get an extra slug out of the communion wine.
the
You get a double shot.
extra big sip.
Extra big slug.
Is there anybody else on that we need to invite real quick?
Right?
Do we have?
I do want to give Micah a shout out for saying that I have a Danish book of naming conventions on my shelf. I thought that was pretty fucking solid.
Well, I like that. It was Arnold, I think, that mentioned that they're color coordinated.
Yeah, that's true. They are color coordinated.
I've
Everybody
been
likes to point that out.
For that
I love
for
it.
years. I mean, the fact that most,
Stop pointing it out.
the fact that A, Bill's colorblind, but B, he literally just bought the books because of the color. He's never read any of them.
Yeah, none of them.
That's a Facebook 101 etiquette on shooting your desk videos is make sure you have a bunch of books behind
Exactly.
you. And
Haven't you seen the celebrities?
Yeah, he's got the entire bookography by Shel Silverstein right over his right hand corner.
Bookography?
Got the complete works of Judy Blume.
All of them.
Just finished Tales of the Fourth Grade. Nothing.
Yeah, are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
Read.
Oh man,
Oh, good
if somehow okay. So if there's nobody we need to invite, hey guys, I really appreciate it as always. I'd love to roast somebody else if anybody wants to get invited really quickly.
I think Arnold wants to be on Way Too Bad.
Okay, here.
I'd love to see
Exactly.
Arnold on.
Way too bad.
Let's invite Arnold.
Exactly.
real quick. Arnold, here.
The Tiarita Pinata.
I hope he's from his underground bunker, though. I hope he's got like 6
Yeah, all this shit.
semi-automatic rifles around him at least.
He's literally just in a Lego built fucking studio. Is literally in a Lego built studio. So I'll keep an eye on.
Well,
He's
probably
comes to
standing in
us-
line at an Apple store waiting for them to reopen again.
He's camping out.
What I'd love,
I do gotta.
some topics as well down the road. That'd be great. I'd love for other topics like this, Joe. Topics that people are kind of afraid to talk about. Quite honestly, I think that would be cool to.
I want to do an entire one on religion. Because interestingly
Then we'll do one on abortion, and then one on gun control. It'll be
Exactly. Let's just hit all the big ones. Let's just turn this into a Facebook post.
Again,
I invited Arnold, but it doesn't look like he's joining.
Okay. But hang on, I want to give a shout out to Elon Musk though. Like I said, outside the naming conventions, like I feel like we need people like him. Not necessarily him, but just people who have all the money they need to do crazy shit. Because like even though the guy might smoke weed on Joe Rogan or name his kid crazy names, like guy made a rocket company. Guy made a car company. The guy, I mean, you got
the drilling company.
What'd you say?
The drilling company too.
Yeah, the boring company. But to motivate other people to want to follow that vision, he must have something. I don't know. You hear him talk, he stutters worse than I do, but he apparently can just surround himself with the right people to get this stuff done. And I think it's really incredible.
Oh, there's another layer to it. There's another layer to it as well. Real quick, Joe, that people may not be aware of or just focusing in on. He's obviously smarter than anybody else around. He's one of his generation's greatest thinkers and visionaries. But he also understands, hey, I want to put as much money and as many zeros behind my net worth as possible. And part of what he's done is to all these other people out there, Trump included, just other billionaires out there. What have they done? Bezos did it in the beginning. They leveraged the crap out of themselves, and they borrowed so much that it made it impossible for the banks to take anything away. They don't want it. There's too much. So I don't know if you saw this, but what Musk just did, by the stock going up as much as it just did, that qualified him for his first layer of his comp package. And I think it put like an extra, I don't know, $75 million or so, in his pocket. It's just, by hitting those option levels. So, hey, there's Arnold.
You're saying that's why, Eric, you're saying that's why he said the stock's up too high is to devalue it so he wouldn't have to get paid money?
No, that part of it, he was just being a little bit more honest. And I truly believe, and I could be wrong, but my perspective on that, Joe, is he was saying it was a little bit too high because he wants to get rid of the speculation layer so he can get more institutional buyers to come in and just keep stocking that stock away. Because he doesn't want to have a base for it. So the stock, that stock goes up and down crazy every single day. But the other part of it is just because he's getting those options and he can convert, I think his conversion or his strike price is like 350. The stock's at whatever, 750, 800. So part of his rule is he has to hold that for 5 years. So it's not like he's getting that and then blasting it. He wants to get it, create a good baseline for that. If he's got massive institutional ownership on that stock, it's not gonna fluctuate like it is, like as much as it could essentially.
Well, Eric learned that on Masterclass, by the way. All that on Masterclass.
I've long said that if this planet is going to survive another 500 years, it's going to be because of somebody like Elon Musk. It's not going to be because of our governments. It really won't. I mean, our governments might try, but it'll be somebody who is so 100% psychotically progressive and big thinking. That's the only way we're going to be able to survive. So Arnold, thank you for joining us. How you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
How are you now?
Great. Sorry,
bad.
Dave, I guess, wasn't happy that you left. He walked off.
Yeah. What'd you do to David, Arnold? Why'd he leave?
I don't know. David must went get some more coffee or something.
Yep. I guess.
Well, Arnold, thanks for joining us. You're another friend that we've known a long time. I'll never forget the first time we met, but I'll keep trying.
I'm good. Wait. I'm good here in North Carolina.
I mean, so besides the people I worked with at the dealership, and besides, I want to say Tim James and Jason Putnam, Arnold was one of my first friends that I met at my first conference that I went to.
Nothing like having a loaded shotgun.
In case y'all get out of line.
Yeah, exactly.
Fully accessible for the kids or the wife.
God, it's like
for that matter. I mean,
what is wrong with you?
Yeah. It's like alcoholic Elmer Fudd.
Exactly.
Break action. There you go. Nice Def Leppard t-shirt too, by the way. That's awesome. I like that. That's solid.
Yeah.
Yep. No, we see you have a gun. Jesus Christ. You and the majority else of Americans, just because you live in North Carolina.
I have lots of guns.
No, way to go.
Yeah, thanks for announcing it.
Right.
Now people know where to go.
This is North Carolina.
Listen,
Okay.
did you guys
So this
watch
is-
on Oliver?
Is this the
North
outlaws
Carolina,
are just
you can have
kicking in
all
your
the
doors
guns you
down
want.
there?
No, did you guys see on John Oliver? He had who is it? The guy from Infowars talking about how he'd eat his neighbors in the apocalypse.
Alex Jones.
What's his Jones? What is that his name? What's his name?
Alex Jones?
Alex Jones. Thank you. I forgot. So you might your neighbors might think you might be plumping yourself up there, Arnie. You know, you better watch out.
Sorry.
Oh, you missed it. Arnold was just showing us his guns that he has right in his
Let me
mouth.
see. Is he gone?
No, not yet.
Right there.
Not yet.
Oh, it's going to bring it back out. Here we go.
There you go.
It's one of them.
Yeah, it's compensating for something.
There.
Now listen, I'm pretty
Nothing,
sure
nothing like a gun to compensate.
Arnold, what have you been up
You
to?
remind me of Joy Little's racist uncle.
Exactly.
I think you're supposed to
Gun
hold
reminds me of why Joey's got such big microphones.
Exactly. I just brought this candle to fight, so I don't know what's.
Exactly.
Arnold, what's going on in your world, buddy?
I'm just trying to make a living and keep clients and do the same thing that we're probably all doing.
Yeah. So
What do you think about the Facebook stuff?
Arnold and I both.
How do I get rid of this echo?
Turn your Facebook Live volume down.
Yeah. So we have a woman named Melissa
Oh,
Roberts.
and how to turn the
that does work for
Facebook
both Arnold and
volume.
myself, and she has coronavirus right now.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Melissa,
I got
so
it.
so a woman that does work for both Arnold and us has coronavirus right now.
I got it.
Going on.
Yeah.
Really?
A lot of people down there do. They just don't know it yet.
I
That's
feel like
terrible.
Chewbacca.
No, she's up in Boston. She's up in North.
Yeah.
So anyway, so
Oh, well, that's different. Different
Arnold, really
state.
quickly, do you have any Facebook rules that you follow? Everybody knows my birthday purge, where I delete everybody because I say happy birthday to every single person that I'm friends with.
That's the only reason I tell you happy birthday.
Yeah, as it should be. Because,
Doesn't give a shit otherwise.
So do you have any rules as a person who manages social media? What are some of your rules that you feel is, man, this is just too salesy?
Too salesy. I mean, I kind of go with. I mean, it's okay every once in a while to have some promotional stuff. If you're talking about a company page versus a personal profile.
I'm saying, would you, Arnold Tiarina, ever build a personal business page like, hey, Arnold Tiarina invites you to like Arnold Tiarina?
No, I wouldn't do that at all.
Yeah, nor would
That's like so vain.
Yes.
That I mean, yeah, if you're like a real celebrity, like you're Beyonce or you're Tony Robbins or you're someone like that,
Stapleton.
I can understand
Stapleton.
why they would want to do that, but
Flip
I
Wilson.
can't think of anybody in the
our
automotive
George C. Scott.
industry like with the let's qualify it and say like speakers at conferences and that kind of thing. Other
What
than,
about
like,
birthday clowns? Kids' birthday clowns.
Uh,
Well, listen.
if that's their business,
What about ordained ministers?
no,
no,
you've got to live that life. You got to live
yeah.
HVAC
No, I mean,
specialists.
there are some cases where I can see people having both a personal page, like a personal profile, and like a business like page for Arnold Tiarina.
No,
But I don't think anybody that I know of in our industry like needs one. Someone like okay, like a Scott Monty, maybe, but he's not in our industry anymore. But he was for a long time. So I could see someone like that. And then there are people that want to share, their personal stuff separately from their business stuff.
Oh.
But the way I would advise people is just create 2 personal profiles rather than, unless you're a superstar, which, I mean, I can't think of anybody in our industry that participates in social media that would need their own Facebook page. I mean, I know of people that think they're superstars, and but they're not, but they think they are. So they went out and created their own page. And
let's wrap it.
I'm like when Joey was saying, or what Joe was saying, is I get things all the time, like this page in your little notifications, and I just go decline. Yeah. If I want to like your page, I'll go like your page.
So on Facebook, should you ever talk about how busy you are at work?
No.
You should all the time. You should talk about.
I never share how busy.
No, he doesn't.
No, but like you go look at my Facebook profile, and it's all about.
You do it, Arnold. You're like
about my personal
life. I gotta do
that
this.
I'm sharing.
We all do it. Everyone's guilty.
With my friends.
Everyone's guilty. Everyone's guilty.
I'm telling people where I'm traveling or flying, but I don't be like, love what I'm doing for all my clients. Fucking #grind. I don't.
No, I don't do that.
Okay, so here,
like I'll post like I'm going to this conference, or whatever.
No, I think it's fine.
Like that, just real simple.
Yeah. Here's the bench
to Vegas for a digital dealer, or whatever. I'll post that. And if there's interesting things during the conference, I'll post that too. But you'll never see me post, motivational quotes or the lions that you're talking about.
That's why we're still all friends.
Or any of that.
Really quickly,
this is one of the rare times I even go on video. I mean, I think the last time I went on video, we made those masks. Made the masks for the medical clinic, and David helped me do that, by the way, and I appreciate you, David.
Of course, brother.
They loved it, just so you know, and we made 500 masks.
Okay, so really quickly, because I know talking to you, Arnold, it's almost impossible to have you talk for less than an hour straight. So, so with that said, anybody want to take it? I just want to thank Arnold for joining when he's had at least probably less than a fifth of whiskey at this time of day. He's really showing restraint.
It's only noon.
It's noon. Jesus.
I know.
Yeah, it's noon. In North Carolina, it's the drinking hour. You load your guns and you start to hit it. Because nothing says good solid parenting like some bourbon and a loaded shotgun in your office.
And screaming.
It was unloaded. He showed us.
That's just the one in my office.
Exactly. Yeah. He's got him laying all over the house with his Legos.
Yeah. I do.
All right. So anybody else want to?
I think I have a Lego gun.
You probably do have a Lego gun.
All right. Hey, Arnold, thanks for joining us. You take care.
Love you, buddy.
Yeah, Arnold.
Wash your hands.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Hey, it has been a fun topic. I appreciate you all.
Not really.
We're gonna wrap this up immediately, but we will see you next Monday, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Great to see you guys. Have a great week.
Hey,
What time is it again?
I got a couple ideas, but I'll talk to you soon.
A quick pitch, if I may.
Take
See
care.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for
Love you,
joining
man.
everybody
See you
on
guys.
Facebook.
Say hi to your mother for me, all right?